Morning, mate. Bit bloody chilly this morning.
Just a little bit.
It's safe to say that the UK is feeling pretty chilly at the moment. Luckily, just before the snowfall, I managed to meet up with Craig and Gary from Adventure Trails. They offered to take me on a ride of their local spot in Kinver. To add to the excitement, today we're all riding hardtails. Now, Craig and Gary have recently finished building their new hardtails and they're keen to see how they handle the local trails. In fact, it's Craig's first time riding a hardtail ever, so there are a few drops and jumps that we're keen to visit. I think you'll agree that their new bikes look pretty sweet. I'm of course riding my trusty Bizango, but I may not have taken the weather into account when I put the bike in the car last night.
I think this is probably the least prepared I've been for a ride in a while. I've got the Maxxis Hardtails, which aren't exactly the most hardy tyres for winter riding, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Yep, I should have fitted some thicker tyres.
Ready to roll.
Right.
To get in some decent mileage, we're riding to the trails today. A few of us have signed up for a mountain bike event early next year called the Anti-Freeze, so it's about time we all started training. And today's conditions are pretty similar to what it's going to be like on race day. It's cold, we had an early start, the trail is a good mix of climbing and technical single track, and it's a decent distance. All great training practice. As we got closer to the trails, we came across some faster little sections that are a mixture of woodland and fire road riding. The lads told me that the track has gotten pretty rutty in the recent storms, so we needed to watch out for soggy patches and hidden ruts.
Taking a height line.
I'm glad I had these boys to follow because I have no idea where we're going or what exactly we're riding on. With all the leaves, I can only guess what the riding surface is like underneath. It could be quicksand for all I know. This part of the ride isn't very technical, but the unknown terrain certainly adds a bit of danger to it. I was really excited to finally get to ride here. I've seen plenty of videos of the trails and I've been wanting to come for such a long time. It's clear that the hardtails were the perfect choice for the ride so far. They make short work of the uphills and they're a lot of fun on the downhills. It's also really good to know that I was keeping up with the two custom builds whilst riding my Bizango. Although there is a lot more technical riding to come, so we'll see how we go. But before we could get to the technical riding, we have another problem. All the recent storms have caused a few large trees to fall across the trails. There were a couple of blockages too big for us to clear and we had to hike over. Although not all of us were convinced that these blockages were caused by storms.
Yeah, look, you can see where the dog walker stamped on it with his his or her hoof. Yeah, either this is from the storm or somebody really doesn't want us coming down.
Yes, he is joking. Although this area has suffered with walkers barricading the bike trails in the past. After playing leapfrog with the trees, it was great to finally hit the flow trails. These things are smooth and fast. The perfect playground for the guys to test their new hardtails. And as I hoped, it was proving to be a really good training ride for our event next year. Natural trail riding is always a lot of fun because you never quite know what you're going to come across. It's even better if you're riding it all for the first time like I am. But having someone to guide you who knows the trails is a massive, massive help. After a bit of a warm-up on the flow sections, we started riding some of the downhill single track. Now this is my kind of riding. But check it out, considering Craig has only ever ridden a full suspension bike before, he's handling the terrain extremely well on a hardtail. Nice work. The next thing we reached was the Drop of Doom. It's called this because you can't see it until you ride over it. It's bigger than it looks and it lands to flat. Great fun on a hardtail.
Drop of Doom.
Nice.
Nice.
Me and Gaz rode it first, and of course everything went well. With us successfully down, it was Craig's turn to hit his first ever drop on a hardtail.
Well, it's my turn now.
Gaz is confident that Craig will have no problems, so he adds a little bit of extra pressure. Craig nailed it, no problems.
That could have gone worse.
That could have gone a lot worse.
We were all absolutely stoked to have made it down, and Craig is really settling into hardtail riding. After the success of the Doom drop, they took me to check out the Freeride part. Now this place looks awesome. There are some serious lines here, and it's certainly not somewhere for your average mountain bike rider. It's a rider-maintained area with some great lines and epic jumps. As we're here, we couldn't really help ourselves. We decided to ride just one of the easier trails. This one starts pretty steep. The storm had caused a lot of debris on the trail, so we had to pick a decent line through. The hardtails were a great choice for this line. The clearer parts of the trail were really smooth, and we even managed to hit a step down just before heading into some wicked berms. The whole thing was great fun. Hats off to the trail builders, I can't wait to ride this place again. So despite today's cold weather and a few downed trees, we had an awesome ride. I really can't wait to come back and explore some more. But before I go, I'll leave you with this. Gaz's tip for keeping warm on a winter ride. I'll see you next time.
Anyone like a Jack Daniels before we go off the shop?
Definitely. Nice, cheers.
That's Dutch courage.